Awesome. Okay. Before I switch back to the VR template, I just want to show you guys a quick thing that I tried to do in class, but didn't realize why it wasn't working. We're still in the VR template, just really quickly. If I create a new level in this blueprint, in this template, so I'm going to create a new level. It doesn't matter what it's called. For this, I'm going to double click it, should open it, save selected. Again, doesn't really matter. I tried to just do like a little bit like a short lighting demo for you guys, which we'll go into more into class, but I was wondering why it wasn't working. So I wanted to show you why it wasn't working. So if in a blank level, there's nothing in here. It's just the darkness. I can come up to window and I'm looking for ENV, environmental light mixer. You can do it by adding in the light stuff manually, but I'll do it this way because it'll open up a window for you. This window, which allows you to like create a skylight, directional light, atmosphere, cloud, and height fog. Basically all the stuff you need for to start messing around with like realistic lighting in Unreal. So I'm just gonna click them all. And inside the light mixer, we can see we have these normal, minimal, and advanced settings. Essentially what it's doing is it's putting all the different things that we just added into one window, which we can mess around and change lighting for all of them. If you have a dual monitor, it's helpful to have this on one monitor and then the scene in the other so you can mess around with it. So I'm not going to close this. I'm going to move it to my second monitor so you guys won't see it. But you can now see I clicked that stuff over in the outliner. We now have all the stuff here. And we can see we have an actual skybox, which on my left screen, which you cannot see, I'm sorry, I can mess around with stuff like change the lighting intensity. So I'm just making it brighter or darker. I can, what would be something that's interesting? Change the cloud. I'm messing with the volumetric cloud setting right now. Change the skylight color, which is doing something. You just can't see it. I'm going to change the color of the sun. There we go. Yeah. So this is the lighting mixer, and we'll go into this in class. I was wondering why it wasn't working before, and that's because I mentioned it briefly, but the vehicle template and the VR template, so they're two different projects. So right now we're in the vehicle template, and then right now I switched to the VR template. These have different settings. Basically, and this will probably be a short video. If I go up to edit project settings in the the vehicle template, we can tell, if I go into the project settings, this is the vehicle icon, and go into, I believe what would show it mostly would be under engine, and then scrolling down to rendering. Yeah. We'll go over this stuff in class. It's not entirely necessary for you to know, but it is good to keep in mind. This sets like what kind of rendering settings that the game is using. We're not using mobile, so this isn't necessary for this project. But if we scroll down, trying to see what I can show that would be different. Well, first we can see there are a lot of settings, a lot of options that we can select to change how the game is rendering. Essentially, the main takeaway is that the vehicle template is using better rendering stuff than the VR template. The VR template is scaled back to allow it to run on a headset, as opposed to the vehicle template, which is using settings to let it run on, an actual PC. I feel like I'm in the wrong setting to show it off. I know it's an engine, but I can't think of where it is. Actually, let me go over to the VR template and go into its project settings and just see if I can spot like a major difference. 'Cause I think one is using the forward shader and one isn't, but I might be lying. These are the mobile settings, which is okay. yeah, it's not that important for now, but that's why the environmental light mixer will work in the vehicle template, but it won't work in the VR template. We have to do some special things to get lighting the way we want it to. And I'll take a look at this more in class, because I know what I want to look for, but I can't. Oh, maybe it's platforms. Let's see. Once again, this isn't that necessary of a video for you to watch. It's just a bit interesting. If I go to platforms, click on Windows. Here we are. Okay, so not in rendering, but in platforms, there might be some differences that we can spot. So in the VR template, we're using SM6 for the targeted shader formats for D3D11. Again, these numbers won't mean anything to most people. They don't mean much to me either. But this is using SM5. I think these should be different in the vehicle one. But again, I might be wrong. Let's see if I go to Windows. SM6, no, it's using the same one. I know something is different that is making it do different stuff. But again, yeah, I'll take a look at this with you guys in class to go over it, because I'll have to like look. Oh, I can see like this one's using DirectX 12 and the other one's not. But again, not important. But that's why when we tried to make the lighting in the VR template, it didn't work. And I'll do that again in a second. Actually, I can do that right now because we're not using the vehicle template anymore. So I'll just save this and close it out, just to show that I am not crazy. I'm actually going to, so right now we're in the VR project. I'm going to just create another test level because I just tested this a while ago. Going to create a level. Doesn't matter what it's called. I'm going to go into it and we're just going to try to create the same things. So if I go up to Window, look for the environmental light mixer, and then we're just going to add in the exact same thing as we tried to do in class. Create skylight, create directional light, create sky atmosphere, volumetric clouds, height fog, and we see it didn't work. So there's something in like the shading settings that's preventing us from doing the same thing that we did in the vehicle setting. So we see like we can't use the same lighting settings as we do in the vehicle template because it has different settings in the background that are different. I don't know what they are, or else I would show you what to do to change them. But we can still get, a skybox and lighting and make it look good using some different means, as I have in this one. See, we have like this nice skybox. It's not real time. It's a blueprint that's using images to render clouds instead of like trying to do something dynamic. And actually, I have a little bit of time in this video. I can show you guys how to do that now. Okay, yeah, I'll do that because I think I can cover this in the video that we're in. So I'm actually going to go back to the world I just made, and I'm going to clear it out, and we'll just add in all the VR stuff since there's still plenty of time in this. So pretend this is a blank world, because it is. We just created it. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head back into the actual VR template blueprint. If I can find it, VR template, map. That's very weird. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All I did was close up my project and reopen it. I'm not sure where my template map went, but normally closing and reopening works. Okay, so we're back in the actual VR template, and we can see the skybox. If you weren't paying attention, This is actually different. This is not volumetric clouds or something dynamic like that. It's actually, see if I can find over here, a special blueprint that comes with Unreal. It's just inside the engine instead of the content drawer. So it's actually this Skysphere PC2, which if I right click, go browse to asset, it'll open up the content drawer, and we can see it is buried deep within the engine content. So in Unreal, you have two folders, two like major folders, the content folder and the engine folder. Content's where everything that we make lives. Engine is everything that's pre-built. It comes with Unreal. So yeah, this blueprint is in the engine folder under engine sky. It's this blueprint right here. You really don't want to change anything in the engine folder. So what I did was that I just grabbed it and dragged it over here to the content folder. And when you do that, it'll ask you to either move here or copy here. Again, you don't want to change stuff or delete things from the engine folder in most cases. So all I did was I copied it. So I clicked copy, and what that did is that it gave me a copy of the BP Skysphere that I could change, and it won't affect the engine one. And that's why we have lighting in this VR template. Well, we have a skybox. That's not why we have lighting. So if I now go into my new world, the level we created last time, I'm going to delete. Actually, no, I'm going to keep the rest of stuff in there. I'm going to delete volumetric cloud because we're not going to be able to see it. It'll be blocked out by the cloud skybox. And at this point, we should have lighting, but again, we're in the VR template, so some different settings are working. What's really doing the lighting is like I think it's something to do with the environmental height fog. This allows like light to be scattered around the world, but for some reason, VR settings don't like that. So what we're going to do is that with the BP Skysphere blueprint that we found, we're just going to drag it in, and we can see that we now have lighting. Fake lighting, but lighting. I'm just going to reset it to 0, 0. And now, like we did in class, I'm going to click on this little square up here, find shapes, give it a plane, which I'm going to reset to 0, 0. I'm going to hit F on the keyboard to zoom into it, and we're going to make it big so we can walk on it. And we can see the floor is lit. It's all white because the sun is beating down on it. But I don't like daytime lighting. Something wrong with it. But it's not my favorite. It's not atmospheric. So I'm actually going to click on the BP Skysphere, and we'll go over this blueprint more in class. It's a very cool blueprint. I use it a lot for my own projects because it gives like stylized lighting and stuff, or stylized cloud Skysphere. And we can see there's a directional light actor that's looking for, well, a directional light actor, which is the sun. So if I click it, it's going to look for the only directional light in the scene that we have so far, which is the sun. So I'm going to click it. And we can see the sun position changed. What this blueprint is doing right now is we can see there's a little button right here that says colors determined by sun position. So we can actually change the colors of this Skysphere manually. I'll show you more how to do that in class. For now, we're going to rely on the sun to tell us what the colors should be. So because the sun is up in the sky, it's saying that this should be daytime colors. I'm going to change the sun to more nighttime colors. So on my keyboard, if I hold Control L, we can see we have this little thing down here. It's like a sun positioner. And we can see where the arrow is where the sun is pointing at. So I now put the sun directly like at the bottom of the world. So that's quote unquote nighttime. And if I come back to the BP Skysphere and click refresh material, now we can see we have night. And if I go into my environmental height fog, change the fog scattering color from black to something else, particularly like a stylistic night color, I'm going to make it darker. We now have, this is more like dusk, but yeah, a little dusk thing. Okay, I'll be right back in another video.